without, you know, the appeal of Gatsby. Though he is wearing a nice suit. No, it's weird that I actually miss random encounters. Because while it does get annoying getting attacked by something you can't see coming, at least it's not like 10, 15 to 20 second stretches of just nothing going on. As always, the music for Final Fantasy is decent.
Strange. Snow came down this way, but it's a dead end.
There has to be a way to get through.
It's not a dead end, there's just a gate. Look, the switch is right there. I just went dyslexic on my buttons again. See my Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z demo to see how that can go really badly on me.
When that door opened, chaos remained in the whole area, Spike.
Yep, chaos is everywhere. It surrounds us, it binds us, it gives us purpose. It may speed up this fucking grinding. Because that's kind of what it feels like. I mean, when you're actually playing it, it doesn't feel as bad, but because when I was recording the footage and it was during the day, I couldn't use my USB mic because, like I said, it picks up radio waves, so just sitting here watching and adding the dialogue afterwards, it's probably a bit tedious to watch.
What the? Who are you? And what are you doing here? If you're playing around
Is this
in the
little
middle
girl
of
the
this
embodiment
chaos,
of chaos?
I'm guessing you're not human.
You can see when you're inside this stuff? Then you can't be one of God's regular lackeys, can you?
God damn it. Little girl chaos is among the worst chaoses. Take the power of chaos and add it to the emotions of a teenage girl and... God. Anyway, this is kind of a neat monster design. It's like a big behemoth lizard sort of thing. Gives it some fancy name that I can't read because my current video editor, I can't figure out how to expand to fill up the screen. So I'm not going to even try to read this. While I was capturing, I let it sit there so I could read it out to you, but no such luck. Overclock. This is actually kind of a neat thing. You like halfway pause time and it lets you just kind of spam and spam and spam some more. I think my bar refills like 3 times here, so I can continue to just spam thunder. About like Pikachu and mini brawl games, once you figure out that it hits the top tier, so you can just sit at the bottom middle of the screen and most maps and just watch as you wipe fuckers off without doing much of anything. Overclock, overclock, and overclock again. And yet I barely make a dent in this guy. I don't know if he just has a ton of health, or if they just kind of picked an arbitrary power level for the demo. But I hope in the main game you can be a lot more powerful when going up against this guy, because this is a good, like, 10-minute fight, I think. And that's with me switching rapidly to get back all the power I got in spamming just as fast as possible. Because this is a tedious fight. Which I know a lot of boss fights are basically a battle of attrition in and of themselves. It's just weird that, especially with the overclocking, it basically begs you to just spam the crap out of your abilities and just keep the pressure up, and it still takes an eternity to take down a boss. And maybe it's by design, or maybe they fix that in the proper game, but like fighting this guy, I don't know if you're supposed to spread out your attacks more so that you stagger him
Thanks for waiting.
more often, but yeah, I was getting quickly tired of this fight when I was playing.
Okay, gotta hang in.
Probably doesn't help that he seems to have a limited moveset. Like, if you keep him at a distance with the magic, he can't really do much to hit you until you run out of the Savior and whatever they call the witch girl, and you have to go to this form, because this form's the only one without a ranged magic attack. It seems the, like, cross slash at the bottom definitely has some magic element to it, but basically using that form, you're just kind of waiting for one of the other two to recharge. And I don't really know how fast they recharge, just switching gets it back, but since you have to, or I was going through it anyway, I suppose I could have just hit right and left, go back and forth between the two with magic, but if you got it, might as well use it. I suppose, hypothetically, in the main game, you might have more outfits at this point, so you can set up 2 or 3 that have a little bit stronger magic. Maybe, just maybe, you'll have a like summoner form, so you can summon your own giant fuck-off lizard to just pick up this dude and bash him against the wall a few hundred times. Which would be an awesome mechanic. Especially since, unlike Final Fantasy X, you're not really stuck in place. Though I imagine it'll probably be more like Final Fantasy XII, where you summon them and they kind of do their own thing and such, if I remember that game correctly. But yeah, pretty well the only time I ever get really hit in this fight is after I've had to close in with the Beret Girl. Especially since his tail swipe knocks you back to start with, so if you're spamming magic, he's essentially put you out of his own reach. Seems like sort of a self-defeating method. And I know many bosses are like that, exposing their only weakness to do some sort of super attack, but come on. He had a mouth with glowy fire. Why didn't he breathe? I guess it's closer to a 5-minute fight. But it felt like 10 minutes. But between what I'm seeing with Lightning Returns on this demo, I'm kind of excited for maybe actually playing the main game. Though I probably won't play 13.1 or 13.2 unless you guys give me a really, really good reason to do so, because Final Fantasy games are long as is, and I already have a whole backlog of other full games I'm working on in the meantime. But I may play 13, or at least kind of first look at it. I may spread it out across a couple of months or so. But if I remember what this said now, after fighting something that seems like a boss, you can actually encounter them kind of in the free world, and each time you do, you can like try to do better than you did last time. I'm just hoping that they stay around the same strength, and the idea is it's hard the first time, but as you gain power it gets easier and easier. But I'd still like a little bit more power going up against a boss, because I know the idea is for it to be a challenge, but when the main challenge is, are you going to get bored, sit down the controller, and go find something quicker to play? Yeah, I'm excited by Lightning Returns, and I'm really excited about what I see about, what is it, Final Fantasy XV? That they've been showing footage for, where it's like the kid, and he's doing a lot of the stuff that Lightning did in cutscenes, but in what looks like the actual game. So unless this is like a really grand
I've been trying to do just that, but it's no good.
set of misdirection
No
and
instruments will tell me anything.
all that to just make us think it's the main game, that could be really fun. And from
I'm not sure.
what people have told me about the storyline, it's supposed to be kind of two
But when they
mafia-type
actually look into
gangs
it,
just kind of going to war with each other after one of them attacks your family, which is kind of an interesting low-key thing. It's not exactly grand stakes,
that might
but
be beyond even you. Hold on a second.
then in Final Fantasy XIII you had grand stakes and basically failed the first 2 times around.
There's a lot of chaos building up back there.
Yes, indeed. And Snow's inside, or whatever's left of him.
Well,
Nope,
he
when I
has been
heard whatever's
living
left of
without
him,
help for
I was
centuries.
hoping we'd go in and
Now
just
the
see
world's
Snow's
about to
head on a
end.
pike, someone
He
beat
might
us
have
to
lost
him.
his mind entirely. If it were
He had a
anyone
mind to
else,
start with.
I'd say that was a given.
Do you think he
With
could've
Snow,
gotten
it's
to him,
definitely a
though?
given.
Broken even his spirit?
I hope
I
not.
suppose his spirit is pretty hard to overcome, but I suppose they could just steal a soul and stuff a demon soul into it, and that would definitely speed up the process of breaking his spirit.
Light, you've been spotted. You've got to get out of there now.
After coming all this way,
Why?
I'm his last chance, damn it. I know what he's going through. The pain of losing Sarah.
That's true. If there's anything left of Snow, as the savior, you're the only one who can rescue him. That's why you have to protect yourself. If you're killed, it really will mean the end of the world. And then who can you save?
Alright, fine.
Pretty sure the sentries are the
Back to
same
the
guy
Ark.
we choke slammed into Oblivion, so I kind of like my odds, but yeah, basically this is just their way of ending the
So
demo.
she'll understand his pain? She thinks she's going to save his soul? Would you listen to this nonsense? God turns her into the savior and it all goes straight to her head.
Ugh. Bad nightmares about Lord Chaos as a prepubescent girl. Ugh. And that is basically the end of the demo. There's a little bit more where I couldn't believe the demo was only like 20-30 minutes long and started it back up just to see what was going on, but this is kind of a clip of the main game, and it looks fairly interesting. Oh, there's a staff there. A couple of staffs. Guess not all of them have swords. Makes you wonder why the witch has a sword then. Dragon looking thing. I don't mind real-time battles, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games besides 10, and 10 has its own problems, but lots of outfits. was actually was it Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, which is a Final Fantasy first-person shooter at which you can turn into a werewolf and later on a flying bat creature, and you spend half the level as a flying bat creature with a super overpowered weapon, so you just feel like a complete badass through the end. And I love it. So I don't entirely mind not having to micromanage all the... Holy fuck, that is awesome. Even though I don't know why the Buster sword is so iconic. It is the sword you start with, and it is the worst sword in the game. Every other sword you find is better. That one's just good because it has sentimental value. But anyway, that's it. So see you around.